Oh, we're in. We're in, people. I was busy doing a social media post there. I didn't realize we were going to jump us in after the 15 seconds. I did want a little bit longer there, but I tell you what, we'll dive into it because the reason I was doing that was Sean Longstaff. The news on him is literally breaking as we speak that termination of his time at the Toon is coming, basically. An agreement has been reached with Leeds United in principle to sign Longstaff. Obviously, the other day, we're seeing that we had rejected a bid last week of 10 million plus 2 million, and that was for Longstaff to go to Leeds. That was Leeds United's third bid for the Geordie midfielder. Well, thinking, yeah, I mean, what we're doing, yeah, we're not holding out for a fortune or what, but it looks like an agreement's been reached. The fee isn't in the Athletic article. We'll talk about that in a second there. We'll look at the article for you because, as you'd expect, everything's behind the bloody paywall. But we've got Longstaff. We've got all the news happening. Everything's kicking off. Obviously, the reason we're doing this show is we're going to have a little recap of the crazy chain of events that has took place today regarding Isak and Ekitike and what's happening now. What on earth is actually going on between Newcastle, Frankfurt, Liverpool, Isak and Ekitike? So it's all going mad. But bear with us, people. We're just going to do a quick post on our socials here for that news of Sean Longstaff to Leeds United. That one's going through. That's going to be 100% pure profit for Newcastle on that sale. Now, obviously, the main point of this video isn't to talk about Sean Longstaff, but we may as well discuss the breaking news while it's there. They're going to be paying in excess of £12 million. Longstaff's been at the club for nearly 20 years, but he's only got 1 year left on his current deal. So he's set for a medical at Leeds United. He would go on Elm Road, and to be fair, it's a really good move for everyone involved, if you ask me. Let us know what your thoughts are. Fair play to Longstaff for his commitment and service to Newcastle. But there we go on that breaking news. We'll just get this out there, post that there now, and then we can talk to you. I did try and put the stream starting soon on the start of the show, but it jumped us straight in after 15 seconds. I didn't put the loop feature on there, but we've got 500 people nearly locked in already. Big up everyone for tuning in. These lives have been going well lately, so I thought I'd do one tonight as well and bring you the latest on what has been a whirlwind day for Newcastle United and transfers. Like I said, with Isak, with Ekitike, it's been absolutely mental. It's not stopping there. As soon as we go live, we've got the Sean Longstaff stuff. So we'll start with that. There we go. We've posted on our Instagram and Facebook. And if you aren't following on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all the rest of it, sort it out. Get involved. Get involved, people. So here's the quick article from The Athletic. Leeds reach agreement in principle to sign Newcastle's Sean Longstaff. On the 7th of June, we did deny Leeds of signing the player. We turned down a 10 million plus 2 million in add-ons deal, which was their third proposal for the 27-year-old. That valuation was close to the Leeds limit. We then thought that the Ellen Road side would be walking away from any potential deal, but it was rumbling on in the background. And, Longstaff wasn't short of offers as well. There was talks of Everton, there was talks of clubs in Europe and abroad, and Leeds were going to move on other candidates, it says here. But they've now reached an agreement. It's all set to go, and Longstaff will be going to Leeds. A quick move for the Geordie lad. He's only going to head down the road to Yorkshire, a couple of hours in his car, get there sharpish, and it is a fee of 12 million plus. So it just is in excess of 12 million. And fair play to Sean Longstaff. It came out the other day that he wanted to make sure he got a fee for his boyhood club. He didn't want to do a Trent. Yeah, Liverpool fans, I know he's going to be watching, ready to rub it in about Isak, saying that you're going to get him and all the rest of it. But he didn't do a Trenty, did he? He did the longy, did the right thing for his boyhood club because he loves it. He's passionate about it. And we've seen that every time he's put on the black and white shirt. So fair play to Sean Longstaff and Newcastle for getting that deal done there. And it's a good signing for Leeds. I think it works out well for all parties, this one. Leeds are getting a solid, experienced Premier League player. Perfect for them in a relegation battle, trying to stay up and fight and all the rest of it. They're going to do a good job there with him in the heart of their midfield. They really are. He's coming into his prime now as well, to be fair. Sean Longstaff, 27, he's going to be getting regular first-team Premier League action. Leeds have got a good chance of staying up. Hey, Man United may go down. That'd be funny. So they've got a good chance, We know Sunderland and Burnley will go down. So they've got, of any of the promoted teams, they've got the best chance. They're still going to make a few more signs as well. So good move for Longstaff. Good move for Leeds United. Newcastle would obviously get pure profit from a financial fair play perspective. It's a very good deal. We know how many times have we said Newcastle need to trade in this PSR world. We need to trade. We need to do deals. And we're doing that. So we're getting pure profit. You may think, oh, well, so what's it going to be? Probably around 15 million with add-ons, 13, 14 million. That's not that much, but it's pure profit. And it is. It helps. It's better than now. It's better than now. Do you know what I mean? For a player that's not going to get much game time. Yes, we've got Champions League. Yes, Longstaff's reliable. Very good squad player. Gives his all in a black and white shirt. And mentioned the Champions League. Last time we were there, he was class. Scoring against Paris Saint-Germain. He's lived every Geordie's dream. And not to forget, he scored the winning penalty in the shootout against Nottingham Forest in the early rounds, the first round we played in the Carabao Cup run. So he stayed at the club. He turned down moves last January because he wanted to be in with a chance of getting to a final and being part of that historic side. And he's done that. He's wrote his name in Geordie folklore. He's wrote his name in history for Newcastle United. So there's not many people who can say that. You know what I mean? He's representing the club well. He's always gave his best. Yes, he's been a scapegoat at time. Yes, he's had criticism from me and fans, I'm sure, in the comments and stuff. And that's right. You know, I kind of have this thing about where everyone's dead soft about not seeing how it is. We'll always do that. So he's deserved it. At times, poor performances, that's what happens. But I tell you what, he's deserved the praise he's got. Like the ones I've just given him there for Champions League, for the Carabao, for dark times. You know, he was a good player a few years ago. And Rafa especially, you know, and he's linked with bloody £50 million moves away to Man United. Remember that debate, Longstaff or Rice? Geordie Ric Flair giving it the big one. Well, now there it is. His time at Newcastle's came to an end. Nearly 20 years at the club. What an emotional one for him. And he leaves with his head held high. He leaves with the Carabao Cup medal. And Newcastle are getting a good fee for him with 1 year left on his deal there. And listen, Leeds are getting a good, reliable, experienced Premier League midfielder. So that's good. I mean, listen, with the games involved now next season, with the players that we've got, he's not obviously going to get there in front of a Tonali, a Bruno, a Joe Linton. Is he really going to get there before Lewis Miley now even? You know, so there's a lot to be said there. And Newcastle continuously linked with other midfielders. So it looks like we will be in the market for a midfielder this summer as well. Because with Longstaff leaving, Willock's potentially going to leave as well. It does open up the door, doesn't it, for another one to come in. Ruben Neves on loan, maybe. Edison from Atalanta. The young lad from Fiorentina. Is it Richardson? The lad from Coventry. There's been loads of links to midfielders. So we're waiting to see on that one. But the focus of this show is obviously Ekitike and Isak. Big up to Christine. Thanks very much for that one. She's been a member of the channel for a month and she loves the channel. This channel. Loves it as well. So thanks for that one. Get your super chats in, Peter. You got any questions or you want them guaranteed to be read out? Whack them in there and we'll get through them and get them involved and you'll get my full reaction to them. Because before we talk, any questions, comments or any of that, unless it's the old super chat to support the channel, which means a lot. You know what I mean? Means a lot, but also means a lot just hitting that subscribe button and liking it if you haven't already. We're back with what is our second or third video of the day once again. So there's loads to talk about with Newcastle United at the minute, and it's mad, really, isn't it, when you think about the day? Yes, it was disappointing, obviously, the news of Isak and all the rest of it, but it's kind of good to be in the conversation again. It's kind of good to be in a hot topic, you know, because there was many times where we didn't even do these videos. What was the point in doing transfer videos and Mike Ashley didn't bloody sign anyone? What was the point in doing lives? I don't want to spend my night being miserable, getting depressed, talking about the club. So it's still an exciting time, man. I still think Isak will stay. We'll get into that, and we'll get into the future of Ekitike. And I want to know from you lot in the comments, nearly 1,000 people watching live already, who should we go for if we don't get Hugo Ekitike? Because let's be real, he's probably going to go to Liverpool now because Isak's staying at Newcastle. There's my quick thoughts on that one. What's the next option? What's the next option on that forward pursuit? Because it looks like Newcastle are very much willing to spend a big chunk of this summer's transfer budget on a forward. We went for 50, 60 million João Pedro. We went for 70 million a day on Hugo Ekitike. Bid rejected. 69 million pounds. 80 million euros rejected. So who's next? Who should we go for? Because we're taking this seriously. It's thankfully not a Calvert-Lewin on a free. Jamie Vardy. It might be as a third choice. You might bring him in for a squad. I don't, probably not, but you know, Wilson's replacement is a serious one. We're looking for serious, not just competition for Isak, but more so someone to play alongside Isak, as we said in last night's show. it's going to be a potential formation change next year for Newcastle, or an adaptation of system depending on the opposition is the most likely outcome there, isn't it? If you think you don't want to play 4-3-3, fine. We can play 4-2-2. Fine, we'll play 5-3-2. We'll do whatever we want. We'll give ourselves options. We'll give ourselves differences in attack. So I'm pleased that obviously we've got a plan B going into next season. That's what Eddie Howe desperately wants. He's never been able to really do that. Has he implemented a different style, a different tactic, change things up? It's always been 4-3-3. And it's worked well, to be fair, so we can't really complain at it. But we're looking to do things differently next year. Thirsty work, talking about all these transfers. Maybe as the night, like, thank you very much to Chris, who's just became a YouTube member. Nice one, mate. Remember, we do monthly giveaways on the channel. We gave away the home shirt last month, and this month we're giving you the choice of any of the keeper shirts. I'm wearing the blue one now. You've obviously got the yellow one, pink one coming soon. The third retro shirt that's out, and then the green one's on the way as well. Or even if you just want some of the training wear, whatever, we do giveaways for as little as a couple of quid. You can join in, be part of the Magpie Channel community, and we do some little daft behind the scenes videos, little blooper reel I put out the other day. People enjoyed that one. Me messing up for about 10 minutes, trying to sort out the intro, and just daft little other insights. And obviously, the main thing that's interesting you lot is the giveaways. A chance to win what's a pricey shirt these days? These are bloody 85, 90 quid. So, good chance there. Reith, we got the Medler, who's a new member as well. So, where are we at in terms of the Isak and Ekitike thing? Because I'm 12 minutes in the show now. And Longstaff is still the show, but no more. No more on Longstaff. Right. Ekitike, we started the day thinking that we're going to sign Ekitike. This time last night, we're doing a show saying the deal's close and all that, because we knew we were in discussions, talks that his agent was in Newcastle. We knew for a fact from several sources, including your Sky Sports, all the big boys, reporting that Newcastle were holding talks in their Austria pre-season camp with Hugo Ekitike's representatives, and they were confident that a deal would be struck. We did bid for the French forward this morning, like I mentioned, £69 million. They rejected that. We probably would get towards 75 maybe and settle on that. I'm never going to pay the 86 million release clause. Not going to happen. But if you can get it for around 75, then there would have been a deal that could have been done, because earlier it wasn't the fact that Newcastle were so far off Frankfurt's valuation. They'd rebuffed the offer. They'd laughed us off. They were annoyed at the win. They just said it was the payment terms. So it was kind of the structure of the deal is what was the halting point earlier. They might have wanted a couple more million up front. We could have got it done for the 72, 74, whatever. And then got Ekitike flown in for a medical. That was the plan. Then that plan went to shit. And Liverpool decided to be little shits. And they thought, it is. We're going to screw Newcastle over here one way or another. We're not allowing a Premier League rival. They were threatened by us getting Ekitike in to play alongside Isak. They were shitting themselves. They thought, I tell you what, we can't be having this. Has anyone been speaking to Richard Masters? Is the Premier League answering the phone? We can't be having a threat here from Newcastle. They think it's acceptable to sign some players. And big ones at that. They've already spent 55 million on it. Hey, we can't be allowing them to do 70, 80 million pound strikers. They've already got the best one in the world. We can't be doing this, right? Well, I put a stop to this. So we're going to clear a few things up here, because in the video earlier, it was all about Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, very reliable transfer gurus, as people like to call them. Do you know what I mean? Like the leading ones in the transfer markets. Romano's losing it a bit lately, isn't he? People are starting to think, he's just putting things out there for clicks. He's getting paid off people or whatever. I've been had with that so far, but, I don't think he's as reliable or as brilliant as he was a couple of years ago. David Ornstein is the one now for me. He's always ahead of the game. He's always ahead of your Skies, your BBCs, your mainstreams. And he was in there. And he also confirmed that there was an approach from Liverpool for Alexander Isak. They asked, what's going on? What price do you want? They're ready in 120 million bid. So we had all that earlier in the show. Big up to Goat Linton for the super chat, £2. Thanks very much, mate. We had all earlier. The approach is being made. They're in talks. They're knocking on Newcastle's door. They're wanting to see what they're going to be able to do with this one. They're testing the waters, and they're saying, if you don't accept the Isak bid, if we're not going to be able to get Alexander Isak at Anfield, well, we'll tell you what, we're not allowing you to get Hugo Ekitike to St. James's Park. We're going to put a stop to that. We'll either buy Isak or buy Ekitike. How do you like them apples? Scouse apples. I didn't like them at all, actually. Out of date. Threw that in the bin. So it looks like Ekitike's in the bin because we're not selling Isak. How many bastard times do we need to tell people that Ekitike isn't the one for us now? How many times do we have to tell people Isak isn't for sale. Honestly, man, he's not for sale. I don't know what more we have to do. I really don't know what more we have to do. Do we need to protest around the grounds where they're trying to buy him Anfield? Do we need someone doing laps with signs, not for sale, clamping cars? I don't know what we're meant to do here. Because it couldn't be more clear that we have no intention of selling Isak this summer. We are trying to tie him down to a new contract. We want him to be the highest earner at the club, right? Unless it's mental money. Unless it's 100 million 150 million, shall I say, unless it's 150 million pound as a conversation starter, then you're not getting them, man. Don't come to me with 100 million. Don't come to me with 120 million. I'm seeing midfielders go for 150 million. Caicedo's, Declan Rice's, Enzo Fernandez's. No. If you think you're going to get the best striker in the world for 120 million, you just paid 160 million for Florian Wirtz. Credit, very good player, top class player. He's an attacking midfielder from the Bundesliga. I've seen Bundesliga flops. Yeah, Jadon Sancho looked like Ronaldinho in a Dortmund shirt, so I don't care about Bundesligas, right? It's debatable. Even with Ekitike, we're getting excited. He's very highly rated. But let's be real, the German league isn't that good, is it really? So it's falling behind now. What is it? Probably the third, fourth best league, fifth maybe? Is the Bundesliga better than Liga? Nah. Is it better than Serie A? I wouldn't say so. Is it better than Ligue 1? Well, yeah, it is, because that's just PSG. But it's, you know what I mean? You've got them few leagues ahead of it where it's just not that, competitive. Especially lately, it's dropped off a little bit. You used to have a couple of upsets there. Fair enough, by Leverkusen. Xabi Alonso, he's gone now. So there's a couple of their players. So when you're looking at the Bundesliga, looks like Bayern Munich are going to win it every year again. Boring. Yeah, not much competition there. What's happened to the other teams that used to be decent in that league? Your Leipzigs, Stuttgart. I remember them growing up. Crap now. Gone to mud. So, yeah, with that, he's not worth that much money, to be fair. But I tell you who is worth the money. It's Alexander Isak. So, again, unless Liverpool are going to come to the table with £150 million starting, I'm even going higher. But you're coming in floating around that fee, and you ain't getting them. And Newcastle have said that once again. Not for sale. Not happening. See you later. So Liverpool have got that. Sky Sports came out earlier. It was on Sky Sports News. Keith Downey saying that Liverpool have been told, once again, he's not for sale. So they are now entering the race for Hugo Ekitike. Well, there you go. That's fine. You know what I mean? A lot of Newcastle fans, let me know in the comments right now. What would you do? What would you be happy with? Because I think I know the answer. And let us know if it's different. I appreciate everyone's opinion, of course. And I see Liverpool fans in the chat trying to wind people up. But for me, it's clear as day. Do you know what I mean? Keep the money and keep Isak. Don't spend it on Ekitike. It's a risk. And it's just going up on Sky Sports now. Leeds agree with Newcastle for Sean Longstaff. Don't go for the risk. You know what? Take 130, 140 for Isak. Spend 80 of it on Ekitike, because that's what they want. And then you're left with what? 50, 60 million? It's not a great deal. It's not going to go on that far. That doesn't even cover Elanga and Ekitike. So you can fuck right off if you think you're getting the world's best striker for that much, man. Mental. So obviously I'd rather keep Alexander Isak and let Hugo Ekitike go to Liverpool. Be interesting to see how he does in the Premier League. Or will Newcastle still going for it? They're not giving up on the Ekitike deal, is what Sky Sports was saying, is what Keith was saying. Because what we're going to do here is recap what everyone's been saying. Because there's been loads of misleading, loads of different ideas and points of view and things that people are saying, basically. People are saying one thing, another saying, one local journalist is saying da-da-da, the other one saying the opposite. So we're going to recap it all, and we're going to bring it up and see what we think's actually going on. Because one person will lead you to believe it's one thing, and another would say it's the rest. Because, as I said, the day started, the afternoon, the video earlier, was all about your Romanos, your own scenes, saying that Newcastle had the bid rejected for Ekitike, and then Liverpool had approached Newcastle. And then TNT came out and said Newcastle haven't received an official approach. And then Sky was saying no formal approach was being made. But then they've kind of changed their tune in the last couple of hours and said, well, it wasn't a formal approach, it wasn't a bid. But they did kind of ask the question, like, what's the crack with Isak? And again, how many times do we need to tell you? He's not for sale. So let's recap. Let's go on to some points I've got up here. Looking at what is the crack lately with Ekitike and with Isak. So if we scroll down now, because all my stuff's about Sean Longstaff. Right then, 1 hour ago, we heard from Craig Hope at the Daily Mail. We hadn't heard from him on this whole saga, to be fair, which is surprising. I thought he would chip in with stuff. He's normally hot on the heels with breaking news and with a lot of exclusives, to be fair. But he brought this an hour ago. Confidence is now fading in regards to Newcastle United being able to get Ekitike done. Newcastle United will know more within the next 24 hours. So stay tuned, everyone. You know what I mean? It's not going anywhere, this. It's going to obviously reach a boiling point somewhere or another. Craig Hope saying that will be in the next 24 hours. We will know whether Ekitike will be coming to Newcastle or Liverpool, or is he staying at Frankfurt, or is just Chelsea going to buy him because they buy everyone? We'll wait and see. But it's fading, apparently. The belief that Newcastle can bring the French forward to Tyneside is now fading, according to Craig Hope. So that's what he's saying on the latest there with Ekitike. So more to come out in the next day on him. There's obviously a lot of backlash to that one. Other local journalists, say no. Newcastle still have the ambition to have both Isak and Ekitike. The intention is clear. They will go back in with another bid for the Frankfurt forward. That's according to Dom Scare. So he's saying that we're going to go back in. I think we will go back in. It's just strange, isn't it? Because we've spent so much time on Ekitike. We tracked him all the way back to 2022, just after the takeover. And then obviously we've been in discussions, last week we flew out to Germany to have talks with him. This week, his representatives have flew to Austria to have talks with us. His agent was apparently in Newcastle last week. So I don't think we're going to give up on it after one bid being rejected just because Liverpool are there. They'll obviously try and still get him. But when Liverpool have came to the table, and we have to be realistic here, Liverpool are going to offer him more money, and Liverpool are the Premier League champions. So he's probably going to go there. And he'll go there to Anfield and be the main man, the main striker. Darwin Núñez is meant to be gone, and they've got no one else, have they? So he's going to go there, be the main man. If he came to us, he'd still be in Isak's shadow, at least for the time being. He'd still probably be behind fan favourites like Tonali and Bruno and that. So yeah, with the Núñez things, it's a bit mad because apparently Saudi Pro League clubs have made an approach to sign Núñez. He was meant to be going to Napoli, but Napoli have pulled the plug on the deal. But this is silly from Newcastle, man. From PIF, what are you playing at? Helping out Liverpool, giving them an overvaluation for Núñez so they can then really try and sign Isak and or Ekitike. Not a smart play by our owners on that one. So that's not ideal. Big up to Lemurs for the super chat. Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate that one. Christopher Goodwin as well. Cheers, man. Liverpool is looking at Ollie Watkins. Is that the crack? I haven't seen that one. But look at him and get him. Go on, do it. Get Watkins in. Man U's linked with him as well. I think the fee's pretty high, isn't it? But what you get with Watkins is someone who's in the prime and Premier League proven, to be honest. So it's a good deal for whoever gets Watkins. He's a proven goal scorer. Apparently he's really fell out there with Emery and Aston Villa, and he wants to move. So Villa need the money as well, PSR issues. So if they're looking at Watkins, then that's good news to me. Hopefully they get him, move on, stop trying to buy Isak every day of the week, shut everyone up, and then don't bother going for Ekitike. Because apparently the talk is that Liverpool still haven't approached Frankfurt for Ekitike. So if they were serious, would they not have done it already? Or are we going to wake up to news that they've put a bid in for Isak or Ekitike? Or, hey, I'll tell you what, it could even happen during the show, to be honest, people. That's how mental this day has been, how much is happening now in this transfer window. Loads of clubs getting really active and really busy now in the market. So things are going fast. Things are making strides now. You've got Arsenal making big signings. Everything's really gathering momentum now. So we'll wait and see. But back to the recent updates on Ekitike and Isak. There was this as well from Craig Hope, where people will say it's doom and gloom and negative and everything. He mentioned in his piece that Isak was disappointed that the promise of a new contract from Amanda and Merdad, we're going back a bit now, aren't we? That's why I'm getting his name wrong. Forgot he was still knocking about the gaff. Amanda and Merdad Gudusi was not honoured by the club after they left. So basically, when they were here, Steve and Gudusi said to Isak, listen, I'm going to give you that new contract, big man. I'm going to sort you out, yeah? And then when they left, no. Paul Mitchell, cheers, Paul, another great move on your behalf. Did loads, yeah? Must have picked up a couple of £1 million for just going to start and getting pissed. Paul Mitchell thought Isak was already well paid with 4 years to run. Talks ended with no progress since. So I think, since Mitchell's left, we should be talking to Isak right now. We should have been doing this a couple weeks ago. This should have been a priority for me. Seeing there, Mitchell thinks that Isak was well paid is bullshit, to be honest with you. It really is, because the bloke's on, 100 grand a week, 120 grand a week? He knows for a fact his agent will be in his ear saying, Alex, if you went to Chelsea or Liverpool or anywhere else, really, to be honest with you, mate, you'd be getting double what you earn, if not triple. There's players at Man United. Rashford's on 350 grand a week. Isak's sitting there on fucking 120 max. Come on, man. We should be offering him way more than that. We should have had a contract in his face. First date pre-season. Yeah, Alex, he has your new tracksuit. Yeah, and he has a new contract. If you just want to sign there, mate, there's 200 grand a week. Club's highest earner. Bash. If you win the Premier League or you become the Premier League's top goal scorer, loads of huge incentives for you. So, welcome back. Here you go. Sign up. Squash all this nonsense. It shouldn't be going on, man. We should have had this done and dusted. He goes on to say Isak's situation at Newcastle is complicated. His motivations could determine what happens next amid Liverpool interest. So Craig Hope's basically saying there, if Isak turns around to the coaching staff and the club over there in Austria on the pre-season camp at the minute and says, you know what, Eddie, you know what, lads, thanks, but I fancy going to Anfield, then that would obviously be the motivation changing and determining what happens. Because then we would definitely, obviously, be able to go in for Ekitike and would it unsettle the player? That's what Liverpool's intention was earlier today. Definitely high that bit in, definitely to high the approach and let everyone know, let the world know. Now Isak's probably getting messages from everyone in football. You'll be scrolling on your social media pages and seeing all the links and seeing all the rumours. And even Anthony Gordon admitted that when that was the case last year with Liverpool, it did unsettle him. It did get to him. It said it bothered him. Said that himself. So we don't want that to happen with Isak. But I tell you what, Isak comes across to me when I've met him and had the pleasure of being in his company. He's a really sound bloke. He's really chill. He doesn't seem like the type of person that would force a move. Maybe if things weren't going well at the club, if we hadn't just signed his best mate and his Swedish teammate, Anthony Langa, if we didn't have ambition being showed with trying to get players like Hugo Ekitike to the club, maybe if we hadn't made Champions League, then he would think, yeah, all right, fancy the move. I think he's happy here. I think we know that, he's happy here, he's content here, and he doesn't want the move. He doesn't want to force the move. This could be a completely different conversation in a year's time. I wouldn't blame him. He deserves to be at the top end of football. He deserves to be competing in Champions Leagues and aiming for trophies. He's just won a trophy here, and we are in the Champions League. So just see where we are after another 12 months for me. And then that'll be that. You know what I mean? Then if things change, if we haven't quite hit it, then I get it. Then he could go. You know what I mean? Then it'll be understandable. I just really want him to go into Barcelona. I just really want him to go abroad. Yeah? Nothing like a Jet 2 holiday, Alexander Isak. Get yourself abroad, son. Don't go to Liverpool. Don't let me have to see you score screamers every week on Match of the Day. Don't let me have to see you on Super Sundays in a red shirt. Oh, no, Alex, please. Evening, Donna. Absolutely love your channel. She says, thanks very much. That's a lovely cat you've got there as well, Donna, on your picture. Nice one. Cheers for the super chat. Big up everyone that's tuned in. 1,800 people watching live. I really hope you can do us a favor and just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay, so that was the thoughts of Craig Cope. We've talked about Ornstein and Romano, bit of Keith Downey. But we've got here from Martin Hardy. So we've got another journalist here having his input. And this is where we're going to review what everyone said, put it into one, and make our minds up of what's true and what's false. So Martin Hardy from the Times has said that Newcastle United are braced for a £130 million bid for Isak from Liverpool. Isak's agent met Eddie Howe earlier this month, says Martin Hardy. However, his sources, have said that no bid is yet to go in. Pursuit for Ekitike, who both NUFC and Liverpool like, continues. Let's see if that article is a big old fat paywall. Of course it is, so I cannot be asked to sort that out, to be honest with you. That's the gist of it there. So, according to him, £130 million bid coming from Liverpool for Isak. There's been more talks of that Newcastle are actually going to be tested by the Scousers in the next 24 hours with a bid. So Martin Hardy there from the Times is saying that it's going to be 130 million, which is obviously the first offer, which obviously always gets rejected, like Newcastle's did for Hugo Ekitike this morning, and like Liverpool rejected Bayern Munich's bid for Luis Diaz today at lunchtime. So they're going to chuck that in, 130, just to get the media going in, get everyone stirred up again, get the gossip going, get inside Isak's head the hope, try and unsettle him. And then Newcastle will absolutely reject it. They'll be holding out for 150 million minimum. And then they'll probably come back in with 140. And they'll keep doing it. You can see how that's going to go. But I want to know, and Liverpool fans, let me know in the chat. We'll maybe get Alex on from the Cop TV, and I was on his show earlier, so you can check that out. Where this money is coming from Liverpool. I know they haven't spent much in recent windows, and they've won the Premier League, and they've got big sponsors and all that. But after spending 116 million on Florian Wirtz and whatever it was, 40, 50 million on Kirkes and 35 million on Frimpong, and have I even missed somebody there maybe? Then what's the crack there? They must have to wait until the sales of Darwin Nunez, which, again, PIF, Saudi Pro League clubs, stop fucking helping them. Don't put the money in. Let Nunez stay there, man. And then, other players that have been linked with a move. Who else they're trying to sell? Who's the other player Liverpool are trying to sell? It's Nunez and someone else. Maybe Diaz is the one I'm thinking of if they were to listen to an improved offer. So surely, the Athletic was reporting earlier that, they would need these dominoes to fall into place. They would need to make some money before they can spend more money. Surely they can't spend 145 million, just say, on Isak, and then 116 million on Wirtz. You know what I mean? Touching 300 million on bloody two players. That's berserk, man. That's how much Newcastle cost for the Saudis to take over. What's going on there? Well, there we go. Martin Hardy at the Times saying that Liverpool are preparing that £130 million bid to test Newcastle's stance. Even after Sky Sports, everyone else has reported that he's not for sale, and we have told Liverpool that continuously he's not for sale over and over again. Be surprised how dry your mouth gets when I waffle on continuously for 33 minutes already. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. 100 for this super chat. Let's be honest, Liverpool buy Ekitike and then later get Isak on a free or a massively reduced fee with a year left. We are better cashing in. Interesting perspective there. I haven't seen that one yet. I don't think I'm yet to see a person say cash in on Isak. So I'd like to know what you think would be a good offer then for Alexander Isak. What are you looking at to cash in at? What would you deem fair and acceptable? I mean, there is some logic behind that. Obviously, if Isak doesn't sign his new deal, that's a disaster, because this time next year, it doesn't sound as good as it. I mean, right now, we're in a position of power. We can see we've got 3 years left. Fine. Next year, even though it's just 1 year down and it's still 2 years to go, it's still a huge difference, man. When you see you've got 2 years left, before you know it, you're dreading the next year going by, and he's only got 1 year left, and he's worthless to us. You're going to get an out from then, really, because he's just going to run it down, or someone will offer a cheeky one, like what Trent did to Liverpool, like what Real Madrid did to PSG for Mbappe as well. Like, with 1 year left, you're knackered. With 2 years left, it's treacherous. With 3 years left right now, we're good, but we need him to sign that new deal. But, I think you're right. I think Isak stays. And I think Liverpool will get Ekitike. If they're going for him, they'll get him. He'll choose to go there. And that'll be that. Tom, thanks for this one, mate. Could our interest in Ekitike be a distraction to Liverpool so we can go for Guehi again? How much can Liverpool realistically spend? Exactly. Kind of what I was touching on before. I mean, how much have these lot got? You know what I mean? When they were renovating the stadium, did they find a pot of gold behind the cop? Or what, man? Because they're splashing money like now's the matter. I love that. Remember Jurgen Klopp? Oh, little Liverpool. Oh, we can't spend much money. It's impossible for us to compete with Manchester City. And now Newcastle's been taken over. Their ceiling's way bigger than ours. We haven't got much to spend. Remember when he said that in a press conference? And now they're spending world record fees, Premier League records on Verts and smashing that with Isak. And my days. I forgot about Guehi. That one's been really quiet, hasn't it? I wonder what's happening with Marc Guehi. Liverpool were meant to get him a couple of weeks ago. Now it's happened there. Newcastle had apparently cooled their interest. Now we're sort of going back in for him. Now we're fancying it again. So we'll see what happens with Marc Guehi. It just depends on what Palace do, really, because you know what they're like. Steve Parish is really holding out for the biggest fee possible, as per usual, probably pricing out a move for Marc Guehi. He's only got 1 year left in his deal, though, so they're knackered. What we're talking about, he's out there about, only 2 years left. Same thing last year. Guehi had 2 years left. They risked it, didn't sign a new contract. Could have had 60-odd million from him last year. Said no. I mean, worked out well for them. Won the first ever trophy. But they could have done that, really, with replacing Guehi, couldn't they? Maybe. I know he's the captain and all that, but as a centre-back with that 60-odd million, they could have probably went and got a decent replacement, of course. So, they risked it. They didn't take the money from Newcastle last year. Now Guehi's going to go way cheaper this year or completely free next summer. But it's likely Guehi will move on with Liverpool and Newcastle still interested. Right. A couple more bits, because, there is still more from other journalists on Isak and, what other people's opinions are. But like I said, Sky Sports reported earlier, a few hours ago now, Liverpool now know that Isak will stay at Newcastle. So now they are going to rival the signing of Ekitike. So we're hearing from Sky that, Liverpool know that he's not for sale. They know that Newcastle would demand at least 150 million. So now they're going to go and steal Ekitike off us instead. And you've got other people saying Liverpool are going to go in for Isak still. They're going to bid 130 million for him. Newcastle's hopes of getting Ekitike are fading. And then, like I said, other outlets are saying there's been no contact. There was contact, but it wasn't a formal bid. A formal bid's coming. So, like I said, it's all over the place. Pick who you believe. Let us know in the chat, what do you think is actually happening? You know what I mean? And what will happen? For me, from my understanding, what's happening is Liverpool did approach Newcastle this morning. It wasn't a concrete offer, but there was an approach. There was an inquiry, if you like. Again, obviously, earlier in the summer, we know they've been interested in signing Isak. They know they've wanted him. They did come to Newcastle, kind of ask about it. What's happening with Isak? Is there any chance of a deal being struck? We know you're looking at Ekitike. Is that something you're going to go for instead? And then Newcastle turned around once again and said, listen, he's not for sale. No matter what happens, we're getting Ekitike to play alongside Isak. We're trying to bring in the pair of them. We want to keep Isak. He's not for sale. He's not going anywhere. Unless you want to come back on the next phone call or turn up to St. James Park with a big old wad of cash, 150 million minimum, then he's not coming. So he's going to move on. So then Liverpool did kind of move on. And Liverpool, I think now, will turn their attention to Hugo Ekitike, and they will go to Frankfurt with a bid. Obviously, Newcastle's £69 million bid was rejected today from the Bundesliga club. So I think they will then go in Liverpool soon with probably 75 million. And that'll probably get it done, to be fair. And then he'll go there. He's got to stay here. And that's all right with me. Yeah, it's not a bad solution, that is it. It's not a bad resolution for Newcastle. Keeping our star player. That's the most important thing this summer. Obviously, we want to strengthen. And obviously, we've done that with Elanga. Plenty more to do, though. We know we've been trying to get Trafford, Scalvini, or Guehi. A midfielder will now need to come in. That's Sean Longstaff's gone. So there's plenty of work to be done in improving this team, improving the squad ahead of a very busy season with Champions League football back at St. James's Park. So keeping Isak, keeping your Tonali's and stuff, that's what matters. And then obviously strengthening around the marker where we have done with the likes of an Elanga and more that's being rumoured. So I reckon that'll be that. I think Ekitike probably will go to Liverpool. And I do think Alexander Isak will stay at Newcastle. But hey, you can't rule anything out, yeah? Can you? You can't rule out right now on this live stream it popping up saying Liverpool have bid 130 million, 140 million to test the water. There's now saying that Newcastle haven't had a bid accepted for Ekitike. But may come in and say Newcastle bid 75 million and the bid's been accepted. Then it'll be down to, does Ekitike want to wait for Liverpool? Does he want to come to Newcastle straight away? We don't know. You know what I mean? But the main thing for me is that we keep a hold of Isak unless it's crazy money. Now, like the super chat said earlier, we should cash in on Isak. His contract's running down, all the rest of it. With 3 years left on his deal, I don't think we need to panic on that just yet. Like I said, maybe in a year's time you would. But right now, we are sound. Absolutely sound with that. So with Isak, it wouldn't be the end of the world cashing in if it was that 150 million plus, because then we could spend that a lot. You know what I mean? We could get a lot for that 150 million. You know, that would be spread across amortization with financial fair play and PSR. Meaning we could really spend a good few hundred million. And you've seen what teams have done. Liverpool know better than anyone, to be fair, taking all that money for Philip Coutinho and then spending it on several players. Tottenham with the Kane money, Tottenham with the Gareth Bale money, that didn't work out well for them. Villa with the Grealish money. So when you get big fees for a single player, then you can, if you get it right, do well. You know what I mean? We could send a few world-class players that. So wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would have to be a lot. Would have to be a lot, to be fair. Right then, 41 minutes in. Cheers, everyone that's tuned in. Do subscribe and like if you haven't already, please. As we bring you another live show after already a video of the day again. We'll be doing this throughout the summer, especially when it's this bloody busy and entertaining. Honestly, I've never known anything like it. The amount of news that is just popping up every 10 minutes, you know what I mean, on Newcastle is just mental. You know, we're constantly getting updates on Isak, on Ekitike, on tonight, you know, Longstaff leaving to Leeds United. If you just tuned in, we have accepted a bid in excess of 12 million for the Geordie midfield, and he's set to go to Ellen Road for a medical. I mean, just refreshing now, just to see if anything else has came out about Isak or Ekitike, because it's that often that it's breaking and changing. It's absolutely mental. See if I've got any messages about anything on here, because again, it's just so up and down and so many mixed reports, isn't it? Like we said on this show already, one people are saying, right, Isak been, you know, he's staying. Isak's staying. Liverpool got the hint. They've been told he's not for sale. They're going to get Ekitike. Then you've got people saying, oh, Liverpool are going to ready a bid for Isak. So it's all over the shop, isn't it? It's all over the shop. Right, what have I just been tagged in there? This could be something. Pretty Romano. Here we go. Yeah, something new. Napoli have informed Liverpool tonight that Darwin Núñez deal can be considered off. 9 minutes ago from Romano. We kind of touched on this earlier, didn't we? Napoli have signed Luca. Núñez still expect to leave Liverpool this summer, with Saudi clubs more keen. We've talked about that. I thought it was going to be something more from Romano about what was actually happening with Darwin Núñez, but it's not. It's the fact what was said, where he is linked with Saudi clubs now, which just doesn't help us. PIF, you understand what's going on here. I'm not sure they're realising by giving Liverpool however much they are going to for Darwin Núñez, it's helping them fund either getting Isak or getting our target Ekitike. So there we go. Right then, have we got any super chats? If not, we'll fly through some quick ones in here. Gatman Star, 12 months' time, you'll have neither of them. Cheers, mate. Nice one. Thanks for the super chat, anyways. But okay, so he obviously thinks that they're going to get Ekitike now. We want an Isak in 12 months' time, whatever. All right, then. Or in 12 months' time, we could have both of them. So, to be fair, we're the ones in the position of power right here. Yeah? We're the ones who've got Isak already at the club. And you've got none of them at the minute. You've still got Darwin as it stands. Now you've just pulled out. So you want to hope that the Saudis can help you out, don't you? Otherwise, you're stuck with Núñez again up front. So at the minute, you've got no Isak and no Ekitike. And at the minute, we've got Isak. So 1-0 us on that one. Just like the Carabao Cup final. 2-1, but got one over on you. I think we've got Hugo because he's Brill, but Liverpool. Angry face, says Jacob. So still confident that we will get Hugo Ekitike there. Listen, there's now to say I can't just because Liverpool are trying to, you know, unsettle us and try and go in there and say, oh, well, if you don't accept these offer, well, we'll come and get Ekitike. Well, we're still waiting. Newcastle were quick with it. Newcastle They've had bids in to Frankfurt for Ekitike, so where's your bid? Where your mouth is? You know what I mean? Where's your bid for Ekitike? You're going to steal Ekitike? Where's the bid? Or if you want Isak, where's the bid? What are we in for? Do you know what I mean? Summer's getting on. Pre-season's in action. Get your bids in. All we hear is talk from Liverpool. Get your bids in. Put your money where your mouth is. Liverpool, yeah? Okay. Whoa. Hey. It's taking me out. It's taking hours. This whole transfer window. It's absolutely mental, isn't it? It's absolutely mental. Right. Let's just activate the release clause now. Says John. Could do if you want to pay the big bucks. You know, it's Newcastle. It's annoying that we didn't reach an agreement with Ekitike and didn't get this one in quickly. And this is kind of the problem with the modern day, where everyone knows your transfer business. You know, if this wasn't out there in the open, then Liverpool might not have tried to come in and test us with Isak or say that they're going to go with Ekitike instead. If we could have just got that one done quickly, it would have been a bloody relief. But aye. Craig, shouldn't Liverpool be targeting Chris Wood? He's more like Andy Carroll. They loved him. They did. Andy Carroll. Dagenham Red Bridge. Andy Carroll. Big him up for going there, by the way. That's class. Just to see him playing for the love of the game. But aye. 35 million paid for Andy Carroll. Take that all day long. Matty, do you think we'll sign Gallagher? I think we might do now. Yeah. Sean Longstaff's on his way to Leeds United. Needed a little midfielder. Gallagher's been heavily linked in the past week. Newcastle might move the Atletico Madrid midfielder, but with that one, I find it a bit difficult to do because Diego Simeone absolutely loves Conor Gallagher. Gallagher's probably enjoying life there in Spain, bit of tapas, bit of the ponytail. He's buying into the Spanish culture big time, and he's starting, isn't he, for Atletico Madrid? You know, he's starting for them. He's a key figure there, but really, is he going to be a key figure at Newcastle? He's not going to get in ahead of our midfield three right now, is he? So that begs the question there, like. But I do like Gallagher, and I would definitely take him. Use the Longstaff money to get the release clause on Hugo. Hey, you never know. Might be. We've got an extra 12 million in the kitty now. Get it in. No Zubi Dooby Doo and no Isak too. See us, Chris. Love to hear that one. Yeah. Well, Liverpool fans shouldn't jump the gun. They've done it in the past. Like you said with Zubi Dooby Doo, they did it. And you don't want to do it with Isak either. You don't want to do it with Isak as well. Smoke and mirrors, secretly tapping Rodrigo up in the background. Well, to be fair, we could go in for someone else now because, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't see them. There's been too many chats come in since I asked this question, so do it again now. Who should you get if we don't get Ekitike? Who should be the next target for Newcastle? If we're moving on from Hugo Ekitike, who else should we get? Because we know the money's there. 60, 70 million for a forward. Who we're going to get? Who we're choosing Newcastle fans instead of Ekitike if we don't go back in with a second bid and if Ekitike decides to go on Anfield instead, if they actually come in for him, if they ever just put up the money for it instead of talks all day long. Rumour mills. We've got Vissa. Absolutely. I'd go for Vissa. Way cheaper option. I know he's turning 29, but he's a way cheaper option. Well, he was meant to be worth through 25 million. Apparently, Forest have had a bid rejected. Brentford would want like 40 odd million for him. That's a bit much. He's only got 1 year left on his deal. I reckon you probably get him for around 25, 30. Benjamin Sesko, great shout. Definitely involved in that. Benjamin Sesko obviously been linked to Newcastle in the past when we were signing Isak. Linked with Arsenal loads, wasn't he? There was rumours earlier in the window that they were going to choose to go for Sesko instead of Victor Gyökeres. That's obviously now changed. Gyökeres is meant to be going to the Emirates any day now. So Sesko will be great. Really good up-and-coming striker. Cheeky bid for Hendrick. Boniface, wouldn't mind that. Victor Boniface, I've been wanting him for a couple of years. He'd be a great option as well. Like, totally different style of play to Alexander Isak. But a good plan B. You know what I mean? A bit more of a powerful striker. Eze in there. He's obviously linked with Arsenal. Garassi, good choice by Ian. Now he's meant to be available on the cheap. Evan Ferguson, obviously failed loan spell at West Ham. Hasn't done much at Brighton for a while, but he could be a one to take a punt on, maybe with Eddie Howe working his magic. Sula is already at the club. Yeah, he's clearly not ready to do it. We need more than a Sula in the Champions League, especially if Isak got injured. You're telling me you're confident of Asula leading the line against Madrid? I mean, I love Asula as much as the next bloke, but we need stronger depth than that. And again, you can't just have two strikers at the club. We'll be knocking Russell there, and he keeps on getting played on the wide right anyways. Jonathan David, a shout there. Is he still not signed for anyone? Jonathan David. We're calling for him at the start of the window in the podcast, and he was meant to be going to, was it not Napoli? How is he still not signed for anyone? He must be really haggling over his wages. Victor Osimhen, that would be a good one. He's meant to be up for grabs, isn't he, this summer? Victor Osimhen. That'll be some sign as well. That, again, just because you miss out, if we do miss out on Hugo Ekitike, it's not the end of the world. We've already just talked about 5-6 names there that is still exciting and would still be statement signings. A Sesko, an Osimhen, even a Boniface. These sort of names would still get me excited, would still be a fantastic signing for Newcastle. You know, people call him for Endrick because he's out of fortune at Real Madrid. Rodrigo, Liverpool are linked to Rodrigo. Arsenal be linked with him. Newcastle, get in there for Rodrigo. Imagine that. The shade seals across South America and across the world with that one. Bring him in. Bruno, Joelinton, Hardy Nasdem, the Brazilian boys. Samba Specials in the Toon. I would love to see that. More shouts for Vissa. More shouts for Sesko. Jacob Ramsey instead of Conor Gallagher. Yeah, that one makes sense more. Been seeing that one for a while on the channel. Homegrown player. FFP problems at Villa. I like Ramsey. I would take him. Makes more sense as well as kind of a squad player. I think Gallagher would be expecting to start. Put the money elsewhere and get DCL. Calvert-Lewin. I'm not having that one. I mean, like I said, I'd have Calvert-Lewin as another striker, but not as a backup. You know what I mean? Not as your Wilson replacement in terms of you kind of go from Ekitike to Calvert-Lewin. That's where's the page? That's not even the same list. That's not even Ekitike. I'm flipping page after page to get the Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, me, I can Fenwa. Why not? But Calvert-Lewin, listen, like I said, if you got someone in like a Sesko or a Vissa and then get Calvert-Lewin, I don't mind. Calvert-Lewin can play your domestic games. He can come off the bench and stuff. But I'll go back to my point before. We need to think big club now. We need to think Champions League. You don't want to be going to the Allianz Arena playing Bayern Munich. Calvert-Lewin's up front. Not the best, that one. I've seen someone shout before. Missed it. Where are we at? More for Sesko, more for Vista seems to be a really popular one. Ivan Toney. Can we get some help, please, off the Saudis? Can we get Ivan Toney? Can we get Mitrovic? Get one of these back on loan. Help us out. Actually get something out of this for once, because we're not utilising the loopholes or the links yet at all. Javi Simmons, Rodrigo. Loads of people winding each other up in the chat. Vlahovic, that was the one I seen there. Again, that one just makes so much sense. I don't know why we're not making moves or why anyone else isn't. Man United who are crying out for a striker and stuff. Vlahovic, who's, meant to be available for 20 odd million. Absolute steal. I'd have him all day long. I think that'd be a great use of the budget of the saying it's tight. Then, yeah, like a Vlahovic would be a smart choice. Munez from Fulham. I honestly don't mind that shout either from Lewis. I really don't. I think Munez is a good option. Good Premier League player. Obviously, it's a bit of a fall off from your Ekitike and your Seskos and stuff. But again, if you're looking at it practical wise, you're looking at it money wise, then I mean, Liverpool the other day were like with Mateta, weren't they? Alex from Cop TV was telling me they were in Paris having talks. So what's going on there? Mateta would have him, but Mateta doesn't seem like a big enough name or big enough player for Liverpool, does it? In talks with Mateta, where's your talks for Isak or Ekitike? Put your money where your mouth is once again. Yep, Longstaff agreed. Yeah, it is, mate. We talked about that earlier in the show. It's meant to be around £15 million for Sean Longstaff, which would be pure profit from us. He's went on to Leeds there. Good move for him. If you want to hear more about that, you can tune into the rest of the show. Right then, we're closing on the hour mark. 1,500 people watching live. Please do subscribe and give a like if you haven't already, people. Thanks very much. Any last few comments? We'll go for another 5 minutes or so. We'll see if there's been any more developments, because we could come off this live And you know how it is. You'll see another tweet by Romano. You'll see another clip by Sky. You'll see something else pop up, and it could change everything. You know, this is the mad thing now with how quick things can evolve and how things can form. Because one thing happens, and we are going to see the jigsaw getting put together. You know what I mean? The puzzle, the dominoes will be falling. It all depends. You know, does Liverpool bid for Ekitike? Like that one's gone. Does Liverpool come in for Isak? Then that throws everything up in the air. Where do you go from there? How much do you want? All the rest of it. It's just more on Longstaff. To be fair, that's dominating the headlines at the minute. Nice to see people putting some good stuff out for Sean Longstaff there. Obviously, his goal in the first Carabao Cup run, the quarters and the semis against Leicester and that, and then obviously Forest in that one where we won it, and of course in the Champions League. He had some good moments, didn't he? Sean Longstaff at Newcastle for sure. Right then, that's Marcus Thuram, 60 million release clause. Tell you what, if you're putting up 70, 80 million for Ekitike, 60 million for Marcus Thuram, doesn't sound too bad, does it? Hugo Ekitike back at Chelsea after loan. Of course he is. I mean, they've got every player on the books. They haven't the Demba Ba. How about Noto from Leeds? Ramos from PSG. I like Ramos. Remember, Gonzalo Ramos was linked to Newcastle back in the days of when we're nearly saying Ekitike, when we're linked to Isak, when we're looking for that big, star up front. Ramos was one of them. That was rumoured. Hasn't quite happened for him in Paris. Well, he's been alright. He just doesn't really get many starts, does he? But I really like him, actually. I wouldn't mind that signing at all. Gonzalo Ramos could be a good punt, to be fair. Jamie Vardy on a 1-year contract. Vardy's having a party in the big market. Marcus, who's a member. Majority of Liverpool fans couldn't even find Liverpool on a map. That'll rattle them. Neil Mopey. Jokeres looks like he's got an awesome. Barcola. Justin Kluivert. Like that shout from Craig. Justin Kluivert. Tell you what, he was unbelievable against us. And I think Eddie Howe and everyone took note of that. And he has been rumoured with Newcastle this window as well. Keeping tabs on him. Obviously, he's got the Bournemouth connections, does Eddie? So you could probably get straight in there for negotiations. So Justin Kluivert is a good shout. Bournemouth, though, I've already sold a couple of their big players this summer. That's kind of what they do, though. But they also demand big fees for them as well. So it wouldn't be cheap. Ain't Vlahovic getting his contract terminated at Juventus? That's shit ass. We'll give you Nunes in the Isak deal. He's your level. All right, then. Just who won that game again? Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Lovely stuff. We need to go ahead and get Ekitike still. Go bid for him. Beat Liverpool to it. We can't keep getting beaten to deals. Well, it is a terrible run of form for Newcastle, really. Yes, we've got Elanga in, but we missed out on Delap, Pedro at Chelsea. If it's Guehi, Liverpool. Was it a keeper we've missed out on? We missed out on a few, haven't we? So, but yeah, I agree. I think we should just ignore everything Liverpool's saying. Ignore the whole threats and the bollocks. Now it's happened yet. No bids have been placed. So go ahead and put an improved offer in for Ekitike. We've been to Germany and talked to them. He's the representatives have been to Austria, our training camp, and talked to them. Keep pushing, keep going, get that second bid in. The Toro Martinez, that'll be canny. Pretty much a goal per game last season from us, was it? Wow, decent. Especially as I'd imagine a lot of them would have been off the bench. Newcastle bracing 130 million bid for Isak. It's true, according to Martin Hardy in the Times and a couple of others saying that they will be bidding for Isak. But then you've got Sky Sports saying that they've been told he's not for sale and they are moving on to Ekitike. And they are moving on to Ekitike, shall I say. So who do you believe? What's going to happen? We'll wait and see. Loads of twists and turns as we could expect and imagine, people. It's going to go mental. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow. But again, I'm sure there will be loads of ups and downs, of twists and turns and madness things going on in the rest of this window. Honestly, there's so much that could be happening. We just don't know how to call it. What do you reckon? How are you going to call it? For me, if I had to say, I think Isak stays. And I'm not ruling us out of still getting Ekitike, to be honest. But if Liverpool do come in for him, they'll offer more money and they are the champions of the Premier League. So he would go there. But the main one for me is keeping Isak at the Toon this summer and getting him to sign that new deal. And I'm confident that all that still happens, to be fair. But I'll either be turned out to be proven right, or it could be all change very soon. We'll wait and see. I tell you what, it will be very interesting to see if Liverpool do actually bid. They've been told he's not for sale. Will they still test the water? Will they come back in for this apparent £130 million bid? And they'll know that'll get rejected though. But it's just to unsettle the player. How will Isak react to it? What will he want to do? We'll wait and see. We'll be back tomorrow live at 6 p.m. for our weekly podcast. That's every Wednesday live at 6. So we'll be there. But I'm sure I'll be back during the day before that with other updates, as there will be plenty ever-changing stories here in a hectic transfer window, particularly at Newcastle United. We're involved in the centre of it all. So please do subscribe to my channel TV for all the Newcastle updates. If you haven't already, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you on the next one. I'll actually just jump back in because I don't want to miss Super Chats. I'm not wanting to miss Super Chats. So Rowan there, didn't see it. Big him up for this one. When it's not Chelsea, it's Liverpool. Well said. It is. And I tell you what, if it's not bloody Arsenal, it's Liverpool as well. So it keeps on happening. Do you know what I mean? It keeps happening where we had Arsenal all last year. For 2 years, time to be Isak. Now it's been all Liverpool this summer. So it's what we're getting all the time. So yeah, we're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to bear with it. And if it's not like you say, Chelsea coming in for our targets or signing our players or approaching them or stealing them off, where we all joke saying, oh, well, now Newcastle bids for Ekitike, it's going to be Chelsea. And in fact, as Rowan says, it was Liverpool. It was bloody Liverpool. So there we go. But we'll see how it all plays out. I just wanted to quickly answer that one because I appreciate all the super chats. Thanks very much, everyone, once again. Big up Rowan and everyone else that sent one in on tonight's show. And I'll see you again very, very soon. In a bit, people.